Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we're going to discuss the new 2D, 3D art and the whole new line of axe implicits that we're getting in 8.3. That's right, the swords got a remake, a whole redo, all new names, all new implicits, all new values in the last patch 8.2. In 8.3 it's time for the axes, and some of these I must say are looking gorgeous. So let's go ahead and get into it. In this post, which will be linked in the description below, we have Sands of the Majasa update brings new and improved tools for hacking and slashing through enemies. Axes, both one-handed and two-handed, are getting new 2D and 3D art, as well as powerful implicit affixes to support a wide variety of builds and create new opportunities. Let's check out some of the examples below. Now there's some wording in there that's really cool. There's new opportunities coming, which means a variety of builds. You're going to be able to play differently. You're going to be able to play more builds, more variety, and on top of that, you're going to look great doing it. So let's go ahead and see some of these implicits that we're talking about. So we got some one-handed examples here. You can see the art. This one's called the Soul Harvester. Look at that skull. Oh man, these are looking good. I am really excited to see these in-game. Everyone's been wanting the 3D art on all of their gear and on their weapons, and they're starting to really put it out, and these look good. I love the skull. I love the spine going down into the handle. I mean, it looks great. And then you can see for the implicits, it comes with melee necrotic damage. That is new. It comes with increased melee necrotic damage. Notice how it's melee and not spell, or just not necrotic in general. It's very specific for niche builds. And then we also have increased minion necrotic damage, which is not limited to melee, so you can also have ranged necrotic damage as well. But I can really see this really working well for the Acolyte or the Necromancer in general. Anybody who uses Harvest, anybody who's using necrotic minions, especially since Dreadshade is having its default changed into necrotic, I can see this being a really great synergy. Alright, next we got number 2, we have the Crescent Axe. And it's got a little blue to it, looking pretty good. You can see it's a little crescent, kind of like the moon. I like it. It looks good. It looks kind of like a lollipop, but not in a bad way. I wouldn't lick it, but I think it looks alright. And then we got melee physical damage with added melee lightning damage, and we got some lightning penetration, which I was looking at these pictures earlier before they updated it. They definitely boosted the damage here a bit, and it was 5% lightning penetration. They've already boosted it to 14%, so that's quite a bit of lightning pen. I like that. Next, we have the sickle. And it is a sickle. It looks just like the sickle I used when I used to cut down brush in my backyard. It looks good. I like it. It would be sweet to be able to dual wield some of these one-handed axes. So I'm like that they're showing it on the new model for the Primalist, kind of showing that off as well, how he looks in it. Looking good. This comes with melee necrotic damage as well. Increased necrotic damage, this isn't melee like the other weapon was. This is just general necrotic damage. And then increased minion damage, all global minion damage. So that's really cool. Then we have the Chitin Claw, and this comes with melee physical damage, a huge portion chance to poison on melee hit, up to 74% for a one-hander. That's pretty good. And poison duration, that is a huge modifier right there. Imagine wearing 2 of these as a Primalist. I think we got some poison builds in the work. I'm really liking where I see this going. And then you can see it down here. It is almost like a dagger. I assume it's a cousin of the dagger, so it's a bit smaller, but still looks really good. Then we got the Obsidian Axe, and this is where things start to get a little crazy. We're getting into the two-handed axes here, so they're going to look a lot meaner, a lot more powerful. And this one, I really like the way it arcs down like this. It's a really cool design. It's not just one blade, it comes down quite a bit. It's almost in parallel with where your hands are at. Really like that. Comes with 101 melee physical damage, a bunch of increased physical damage, and minion physical damage. I really like that on a lot of these weapons. They're adding in hybrid for buffing your minions as well as buffing you. So a lot of these are going to be great. I know they're showing them with the Primalist, but I think for the Acolyte too. Maybe even possibly for other minion classes, such as the ballistas on the marksman might have a little bit of effect here, but you're probably going to stick with bows on that. But overall, really like where they're going with these hybrid affixes. Really helps you out with trying to put multiple affixes onto things to try and get damage and defense. The weapon coming with a lot more attack power is really nice, especially since it's just implicits. Then we have the Radiant Axe. Really like this one. I like the way that it star shapes out. You know, it's radiating from the center. Pretty cool. It comes with a ton of melee physical damage and a ton of melee fire damage, as well as some fire penetration. So it's really cool about that. Nice hybrid for skills that rock in the physical and the fire. Good way to build into both of them. And then for the next one, we have the Jade Cleaver. And this one comes with 105 melee physical damage, as well as caps out your poison resistance. So if you were rocking a shield before in a one-hand because you needed that poison resist, you can now get all of your poison resist just from wearing a two-hander. So that's a pretty niche effect about it. Might even give that a try in a couple of builds just to see how it plays out. It does come with a good decent amount of melee physical damage. And then the last one we have here, the Bardich. Comes with 130 melee physical damage and can rock up to 190% chance to bleed on melee hit. And it is really, really long. I don't think weapon ranges have changed. We'll have to see in 8.3 when the patch notes drop if weapon range is affected with what you're wearing. But this one definitely looks much, much longer than the other ones. But again, that may not change how it actually affects hitting things from a distance. But overall, I really like that they're really adding in a lot of new implicits and hybrid implicits, which is really going to make your weapons a lot more powerful to begin with. Now remember, this is just a small sample of new ones that we're getting. I'm sure there's going to be a whole work of them. Swords, I think when they teased it, we got like 4 to 6 swords that were teased for us, and we ended up getting all of the swords we have now, which I believe there's at least like 12 of them. So I expect lots of implicits, lots of build variety like they said. And they're all looking really good. Really love the fact they all have their 3D art, so you can now tell exactly what you're wearing just from looking at your character without even having to go into the inventory. Alright, and then for the biggest line of text in the whole thing, wait till you hear this. This is going to get you pumped. But wait, there's more. No, seriously, more is coming. Additional weapon groups are being reworked for the Sands of Majasa update, and we will talk more about these soon. That's right. More weapon groups. Any guesses as to what those are? Let me know in the comments below and we'll discuss it. For me, I'm really hoping we get like spears or javelins. I think I've seen some other people really hoping that we get some separation between like having one-hand blunts and two-hand blunts, one-hand maces, two-hand maces, one-hand scepters, two-hand scepters, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, that's going to be it from me. As always, stay safe, travelers, and have a good one.